Let's be clear right from the start. Kindness alone will not get you far in this world. If you believe that simply being a good person is enough to succeed, you're living in a fantasy. Deep down, you know it, even if you refuse to admit it. How often have you done the right thing, only to be overlooked, used, or taken for granted? You've been taught that honesty and virtue lead to rewards, but the real world operates differently. Success doesn't favor those who are merely good. It favors those who understand how to navigate the system. This is where Machiavelli comes in. He recognized a truth that many ignore. Human nature is selfish, unpredictable, and when necessary, ruthless. In The Prince, he made it clear that virtue without strategy is weakness, and that kindness without intelligence is a trap. So ask yourself, how many times have you fallen into that trap? Think about those who have achieved greatness. Did they rely solely on good intentions? No. They succeeded because they knew when to act in the shadows, when to display morality, and when to keep it hidden. The difference between being a player and being a pawn is understanding when to be kind and when to be cautious. Your problem isn't that you're a good person. Your problem is that you don't know how to protect yourself. You assume others play by the same rules as you, but they don't. The world is full of opportunists who can sense naivety from a mile away, and without realizing it, you've made yourself an easy target. Machiavelli offers a different approach: intelligent kindness. This isn't about becoming ruthless or abandoning your values. It's about recognizing that kindness must be paired with awareness. It's about reading people, anticipating their intentions, knowing when to trust and when to be guarded. Machiavelli said that if you have to choose between being loved and feared, fear is the safer option. And you've likely chosen to be loved, to be accepted, to be seen as harmless. But what has that gotten you? Not power, not respect. What you've gained is the realization that people feel free to take advantage of you, because kindness, when it lacks strength, doesn't inspire admiration. It invites exploitation. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not telling you to stop being good. I'm telling you to stop being naive. The world does not reward those who simply mean well. It rewards those who know how to balance morality with strategy. The real virtue isn't blind submission, it's intelligence. Machiavelli taught that perception is everything. It's not just about who you are, it's about how others see you. If you appear weak, you'll be treated as weak. If you project strength, you'll be met with respect. How many times have you tolerated disrespect just to keep the peace? How often have you stayed silent to avoid conflict, only to realize later that your silence cost you more than speaking up ever would? It's not about being cruel, it's about being strategic. You need to know when to speak, when to act, when to step back, and when to strike. Kindness is a weapon if used correctly, but without boundaries, it's your greatest weakness. The biggest mistake of good people is believing that the world values purity of heart. It doesn't. The world values power, decisiveness, and the ability to make tough choices. Kindness is only respected when it's backed by authority. If you don't have power, your kindness is irrelevant. Machiavelli would tell you, don't be a lamb in a world of wolves. Don't let morality make you a slave. True virtue is intelligence. It's not passive adaptation, but shaping the world to your advantage. Ask yourself, how much longer will you let yourself be stepped on? How much longer will you be a victim of your own naivety? I'm not saying abandon your goodness. I'm saying use it wisely. Learn to move strategically. Know when to smile and when to bare your teeth. The world isn't fair, but you can learn to navigate it and still remain true to yourself. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince to teach cruelty. He wrote it to teach survival. So, are you going to keep believing that kindness alone is enough? Or are you going to start applying real intelligence? And this brings us to one of the most misunderstood concepts, the perception of power. It's not enough to be strong, you must appear strong. It's not enough to have intelligence, you must project it. Because in this world, reality matters less than the perception others have of you. Think about it. How often have you seen incompetent people rise while more talented ones remain stuck? How often have you seen manipulators succeed while honest, hardworking individuals struggle? This is not random. People don't necessarily follow those who are good, they follow those who seem to be in control, those who command attention. This is where most people fail. They assume their abilities will speak for themselves. But the truth is, the world doesn't reward those who are right. It rewards those who know how to sell their story. Machiavelli understood this well. It's not just about who you are, but about how others perceive you. An insecure leader, no matter how skilled, will not inspire confidence. A worker who never highlights their strengths will be overlooked. A person who doesn't project value will never be truly desired, no matter what they have to offer. So the key isn't just being great, it's showcasing your value. It's not deception, it's directing people's attention where it needs to be. People don't see reality as it is. They filter it through assumptions, biases, and emotions. The question is, are you letting those filters work against you, or are you using them to your advantage? If you seem weak, you'll be treated as weak. If you seem unsure, you'll be ignored. The ability to shape perception is what separates those who control their destiny from those who are controlled by others. And this leads us to an even deeper truth: the control of information. Naive people believe that total honesty is a virtue, that sharing everything they know is always the right thing to do. But in reality, those who give away too much make themselves vulnerable. Machiavelli advised rulers to hide their true intentions, not out of dishonesty, but because in a world where everyone is looking for an advantage, revealing too much is dangerous. Strategic silence is as powerful as speech. Some of the most influential people in history knew how to keep a part of themselves unknown, always leaving room for mystery. Have you ever spoken too much and regretted it? Have you trusted the wrong person with sensitive information? Have you justified yourself to people who didn't deserve an explanation? Power isn't in speaking the most. It's in knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. The person who speaks the least often commands the most respect. Why? Because silence creates uncertainty, and uncertainty generates intrigue. Those who always explain themselves, always react, always seek validation, these people lose power. But those who master strategic silence, they gain influence. Machiavelli also understood the power of unpredictability. People who are predictable are easy to control. If others can always anticipate your reactions, they can manipulate you. But if you are unpredictable, if people can never be sure of your next move, you become powerful. And with power comes respect. Finally, patience. Most people want immediate results, but those who truly win in life understand that power belongs to those who wait for the perfect moment. Acting impulsively is a mistake. True strategy is knowing when to strike. Machiavelli taught that adaptability is the key. Success doesn't come to those who rush, but to those who observe, analyze, and move when the time is right. If you act without thinking, you'll lose. But if you wait for the right moment, you'll dominate the game. Now the choice is yours. Will you keep moving through life blindly, or will you start applying strategy? Because the world doesn't remember those who simply exist. It remembers those who knew how to play. If this video made you see things differently, subscribe, because this is just the beginning.